Hi there, and thank you for clicking on my video. Going to be going over the Archon mods and Inaros is build for them. They're all going to follow a similar pattern. It has to do with how he would proc them, all have to do with his Sandstorm and Elemental Sandstorm. It allows you to essentially make a stat stick, a pseudo stat stick for this ability. Really high status chance. It's a really good ability. Uh, and unironically, this is one of those abilities that has like infinite scaling, but it's really unwieldy to use. But anyway, let's go over the builds. Um, the one mod, unironically, that he can't use is Archon Intensify, which is an ability strength mod. Restoring health with abilities grants plus 30% ability strength for 10 seconds. And considering three of his abilities have heals on them, he can't proc this. Just to go over his abilities, for those that don't play him, outside of just being tanky, what's his actual abilities? Blast enemies with waves of cursed sands that bind them and steals their health. This doesn't count as a heal, apparently. Um, Essentially, pocket sand. It's kind of a meme, but really good crowd control. Also deals a tiny bit of true damage, but that's whatever. Basically, only good for killing like super low level mobs when you're running like insanely high strength. But other than that, it provides a true damage per second uh, dot, like slash. And as the dots tick, you will regen health. Really slow health regen, but you can, make it work. But it is nice. It's mostly about the blind. Devour. Hold power to trap a target in quicksand and draw them in for devouring. This steals health and ultimately creates a friendly sand shadow. Does not count as health restoring, even if you're missing health. And I think since I'm talking about this, might as well just load it up and show you. Um, yeah, hold power to trap target in quicksand and draw them in for devouring. This steals health and ultimately creates a friendly sand shadow. This is it's true damage. It's got a really long range, decent duration, doesn't drain a ton of energy, and allows you to somewhat slowly be considering the health pool that Inaros has. Actually allows you to heal back up pretty good, um, and has some very interesting interactions that I won't be able to cover in this video. The one that's going to allow us to proc all the elemental archons, which I haven't read over yet, is going to be Sandstorm because this takes into account the IPS balance from your weapon, so you can mod it for elements. So this is where these are going to get triggered at. The final one is Scarab Swarm, AoE Corrosive, and Healing. This doesn't heal you, and it doesn't count as healing by yourself if you're running solo. Technically, this applies if you're running in a group, though. So he can trigger this, but it has to be on an ally. So if you're playing by yourself, you can't self-trigger this. Anyway, let's go. Let's go over the abilities. Oh, hold on. Let's lose some health real quick. Easy. One has a heal on it. I'm not triggering the buff. Two, pull him in. I'm healing, not triggering the buff. Three has a heal on it, technically, not triggering the buff. But yeah, he can trigger it in groups, but not by himself. So there you go. Let's go over the other ones. This one is Archon Continuity, plus 55% ability duration, abilities that inflict a toxin status effect will also apply a corrosive status effect. In most cases, this is pretty solid scaling, but it's going to be a bit of an issue because of the base damage on the ability. So let's see it in action. Get rid of that. Boom. Oh, you know what I forgot? Hold on. Need the augment. There we go. Alright, if you see, with only Toxin on our melee, we're getting Toxin and Corrosive, so it applies. He can apply it himself. Let's move on to the next one. The next one that's easy to show is the heat. We'll mod for heat now. To 6 stacks, you're only going to see even numbers. So 4 definitely applies in even amounts. Let's go to the next one. Electricity. 45 ability range increase. Abilities that deal electricity damage restore 2 energy per second over 5 seconds. Not going to be super useful. Because of the channel. Oh, I still got heat on them. One second. Alright, up in the top right, you can see that we're triggering the bonus as the electricity procs trigger. I wouldn't say this is really high scaling. Couple of electricity procs. Not bad. But the issue is that... Hold on, I'll show you. Is that as we're draining, it's a channeled ability, so you actually don't gain any energy while doing it. But if you see as we were walking away, the Tesla coil, and now that the Tesla coils have stopped, now the timer goes down. So not bad. I mean, it's definitely something. If you have like an extra forma slot and you want to throw it on, you can. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's just not. It's just not gonna. The passive isn't going to help you. All right, so we did heat. Okay, cold. Oh, hold on. They're 190s still. Because of how weak this ability, regardless of how much of a meme you want. Alright, let's get more enemies. Because it's RNG to trigger. This should help a lot. And what we're looking for is a buff up here in the corner. Alright, finally got it. Up here in the corner, Archon Flow triggers. It's pure RNG, but the ability has to kill him. And there's some weird interactions with, because this ability is mostly slash. But there you go, it triggers. Not super reliably though, and I don't know, I wouldn't mod any of this stuff for this. But this is how you trigger it if you want to. Also, the meme build for this, I'll just say it and not like tag it, is you can use the mecha set to permanently CC enemies near each other, and the damage will completely scale. You can actually use Elemental Sandstorm not as a buffer, but as a dot applier to keep dots alive. This is particularly effective with heat, to where you can just build up as the enemies come through like a pathway or whatever. You can be doing Sandstorm, and you can build them up, and the heat dot will keep multiplying and multiplying, but you have to use the mecha set. So I'm only going to say that for the Inaros mains out there. And as much of a joke as it is, you can damage cap with it. Just letting you know. Anyway, interesting fact. There's all the modding. The one that I thought would apply doesn't. But it does apply in an AoE if you have allies. But this is more for solo triggering stuff, for must solo players in the Alliance and Clan. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a blessed day.